Alright, so The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live is finally here. After years of waiting for Rick Grimes to return, we finally got the very first episode for The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live, and it was amazing, to say the least. So today's video, I'll just be talking about the episode, my own thoughts about it, and also I'll be breaking down some stuff and just my own review about it, so please stay tuned. And now, before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I want to especially thank you all for 3,000 subscribers. We finally hit that milestone. It was about a day or two ago. So I want to say thank you to all of you for 3,000 subscribers. I just really appreciate it. And this channel would have been nothing without all of you. And now we have a goal in mind for 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to be part of that journey to 5,000 subscribers, please like, share, and subscribe and enjoy the video. Thank you. And now I know I'm very late to this review. I'm about 2 to 3 days late, and that's solely because I'm out of the country, and it's just very hard to watch these episodes on time and to manage my time and stuff like that. So I'm trying the best I could. So let's get right into the review. And one thing I want to say about this episode right off the bat is that this is a very Rick Grimes focused episode, and that is what we were all hoping for. And of course, because Rick Grimes is coming back after so many years, and just this show's main hype in general was for this character to come back, and I'm very happy about that this is a Rick Grimes focused episode. And I thought that they were gonna focus on side characters and Michonne's new group and stuff like that, but I'm very happy that they knocked it right out of the park right away. And they show a Rick Grimes that stooped so low, right? Not in the way that it's about his morals and stuff like that, but he is actually considering suicide. And they do show flashbacks, and they again right off the bat they knock it right out of the park, where they do show that scene at nighttime where all of the consignees are actually killing walkers and stuff like that. And about 15 minutes into this episode, we see Rick Grimes cutting off his own hand. And this was a thing that was rumored for so long. I've talked about this in numerous amount of my videos. I talked about this so many times, and they just did it right off the bat, and it was crazy. And my jaw just dropped right away. I thought they were going to be saving this for the 4th episode or the 5th episode, right? Just as a big build up for it, but they showed it right away in the first episode, and right in the opening scene as well. And of course, this scene, I just want to talk about one thing here. I noticed this, my brother noticed this, that while we were watching the episode, this scene and the build up towards this scene when he was about to cut off his hand was exactly like the season 7 premiere when Negan was telling Rick to cut off Carl's hand. And just the build up, the music, and just Rick thinking about it, and him going for the swing, the camera work, everything was the exact same. And I think that was sort of a callback to that moment. Whereas in season 7 episode 1, they did not cut off Carl's hand, and it was just pretty anticlimactic. This, they just did it right away, and they showed that the axe going down, which was really cool in my opinion. But this really does show that Rick tried to escape so many times, and of course the reason why he cut off his own hand is because the CRM is actually holding him on a leash of some sorts, right? They actually handcuffed him, and they attached him to a CRM soldier to not make him go that far away. And by this time he tried escaping about 2 to 3 times, and this is his 4th time trying to escape. And again, they're not killing him because of Okafor, and we'll be getting into that later on. And again, it's really crazy seeing that Rick, even in these circumstances, he's trying everything in his power to escape, and he sacrificed his own hand to make an attempt to escape. And of course, that didn't work out. He cut his hand for nothing, and then he got pulled back into the CRM. And of course, him actually sacrificing his own hand kind of is the last straw at that point, where it really does get into his head that he cannot escape the CRM, and there's really no way out. And then we get our first look at these variant walkers, and of course they did not explain how did these variants come to be. And these are variants because of course they are on fire, And like I did make a video about like variant walkers in The Walking Dead, the ones who live, a few weeks back, and spoiler warning, these are variant walkers from Yellowstone National Park, and they are lit on fire because of the volcano around them. And like we're going to be getting an explanation about these walkers around episode 5, episode 6. So I really do hope that these walkers are more prominent, because of course variant walkers are always so exciting. And then we get a proper introduction of Okafor, and we've seen this character so many times in the trailer, and most of his scenes that were in the trailer are in this first episode. And we do learn that Okafor did save Rick at multiple occasions, and he's the reason why Rick is even alive, and he's still even a consignee, because like if somebody even tried escaping that many times, they would die. Okafor would always put a word in for Rick, ever since he came to the CRM, ever since Jadis brought him. Okafor was basically Rick's only friend, and actually the interesting part here is that Rick knew Okafor longer than he knew Daryl and the rest of the group, which really does put into perspective like how long Rick stayed in the CRM for, like the mental toll that the CRM is taking on him, and just like everything that he went through throughout the years. Even though he knew these people longer than he knew like his family, he still wants to go back home. He still wants to be back to his family, even though he doesn't know for sure if they're alive, but he does believe that they're alive. Also, we do get a scene where Esteban and Rick are talking, and I found a scene funny where that when he actually does see Rick's nub, like after he cut off his hand, he did say, "Can I touch it?" And that reminded me of the scene of Negan and Carl, when Negan asked Carl if he could touch his socket. So I don't know if that's like a reference or something like that, but I just thought it was really cool. And now I want to talk about, when Rick finally does join the soldiers, he joins the CRM fully. It's just crazy seeing his prosthetic hand. And of course, he gets a hidden blade of some sorts, right? The people said, even I did say also, that I didn't want Rick to lose his hand. He's gonna get nerfed because of that, but it clearly shows that Rick is more dangerous than ever. And just on a side note, that I think personally that this is the best version of Rick Grimes that we got in a while, even though the last time we did see him was in season 9 of The Walking Dead. He was great in that as well, but this is on par with season 4, season 5, and also season 8 of Rick Grimes, so probably even crazier than that. And now I want to talk about Major General Beale, and they didn't show him all that much in this episode. I think that he's going to be more prominent in the later episodes. Hell, we didn't even see Jadis yet, but so far he seems like a very intimidating villain, like a real sergeant, military leader, a commander that is hard as nails, and he does seem like that. And maybe after Negan, it does look like that Major General Beale might be the next big Walking Dead villain. He's not going to be as iconic as Negan, but I think that he will be up there when it comes to performance and stuff like that. And I'm just really excited to see what Major General Beale has in store in this show. And then we do get an explanation of Okafor's plan, and of course this scene is very interesting to me in my opinion, and that's because Okafor does explain that the CRM needs a change, just to be as simple, right? To be straightforward, the CRM needs change. It's because they're bringing more Bs than As, where Bs, they're just normal people trying to survive, and they actually do let them stay in the CRM, whereas As are leaders that want to survive, such as Rick and Thorne, leaders that want to survive, want to make a change, and they fight what they believe in. As are sent away and killed by the CRM, except for Rick and Thorne. And the reason why they're still alive is because of Okafor, right? And Rick is classified as a B in the CRM's eyes, but Rick is actually an A, and that is what Okafor is trying to point out, is that they need to bring in more A's, right? The CRM needs to change like that. They need more leaders. They need more people willing to fight in order to change the world and to change the CRM and make the CRM what it needs to be. It kind of does remind me of like how Lance Hornsby wanted to take over the Commonwealth and, you know, throw over Pamela Milton and take over. But like Okafor here actually does have a set plan and he knows what he's doing. But then we also get to see Rick's plan on the inside when he's talking to Esteban, right? And like he does, like, you know, ask Esteban where did the tunnels go and where do they, like, you know, lead to, because he needs to escape, he needs to get home. And Esteban does tell him, like, you know, this way it does go into a tunnel and, you know, this is your way to escape. He basically tells him in code that don't do this, don't put in this code, just basically telling Rick a way to escape, which is very interesting to see. And now I want to skip forward to the most interesting scene in this episode, in my opinion, and that is where when Rick does come to kill Okafor, Okafor does reveal to Rick that in his third escape, which was the ending of season 11, like the finale of season 11, when the helicopter comes down to take Rick when he throws the bottle, and also he does throw the note to Michonne, like on the boat, Okafor was the one in the helicopter that said that, you know, it's like he told you, there's no escape for the living. And when Okafor does reveal to Rick that he's the one that found the bottle, he's the one that found, like, you know, the sketches on the phone, he found everything. And also on top of that, he knows who Michonne is. He knows that he's trying to look for Michonne. And then he basically threatens Rick that, yeah, you know, Michonne, like, it's not a common name, and also it's not hard to find like a person named Michonne if they start from where they found him. And of course, like, Rick, he wants to kill Okafor for knowing that. Even Thorne, like, does tell Rick that, yeah, you know, Okafor does know stuff about you, he knows what you're planning on doing. That's where Rick wants to come and he wants to kill Okafor. And now the most interesting part, the biggest reveal in my opinion, is that Okafor was the one to bomb Atlanta and also to bomb Los Angeles. So season 1 of The Walking Dead, it was actually Okafor that bombed Atlanta, and also Fear the Walking Dead, Okafor was the one that bombed LA as well. He was about to do the same for Philadelphia, but they did not do that. So it's very nice that they actually, like, you know, use that for a way to connect everything, right? They connect this spin-off with season 1 of The Walking Dead and also Fear the Walking Dead, which we don't see much, right? We don't see much Fear connections, but it's very interesting to see that they were able to do that and they actually connected Fear the Walking Dead in this as well, which does make it, like, you know, feel like it's part of the same world. And Okafor was there in Fear the Walking Dead, and also he was there in season 1 of The Walking Dead. And now let's get into the scene where Okafor and Rick are talking in the helicopter. And also I want to point out that Rick does learn how to ride a helicopter, right? He knows how to navigate it. Like, the CRM does have special training for that. And it's really cool seeing Rick Grimes, like, finally flying a helicopter and stuff like that. Him finally being a soldier, a fully trained, like, CRM soldier with, like, you know, just like actual hand-to-hand combat training. And now in this scene where Okafor and Rick are just having a talk, they're having a heart-to-heart talk, and Rick is explaining about his farm and his childhood and stuff like that, Okafor does end up dying, and that is due to, like, a missile, like a harpoon, like a grenade launcher. And then Okafor does blow up, and, like, you know, this scene right here was very unexpected to me, because I thought that Okafor was going to be a major character in this show, because the amount of times that he saved Rick and the amount of times that they're highlighting him in the trailers and also in this episode alone. But he does end up dying, and then the helicopter does crash. And when Rick and 2 other soldiers do come out and they're trying to find who did that to, like, you know, the helicopter, it's revealed that Michonne is the one doing that, and she's looking for Rick, and she's been tracking the CRM helicopters down. And then we finally get Rick and Michonne's reunion. This is a moment we have been waiting for so long, for so many years, and we're finally seeing it. It's one of those things that's, like, it's very hard to believe, like, and, like, you know, just the wait in general was long enough, and they showed it right off the bat in the first episode. Most likely in the next episode is going to be Michonne's journey from the start until this moment right here. So Michonne's point of view will be in the next episode. But in my opinion, this episode episode was a 10 out of 10. I loved this episode. This episode was amazing. This is probably one of the best, if not the best thing that came out of The Walking Dead in a long time. I mean, yeah, we did have a Dead City and the Daryl Dixon spinoff, but they weren't as good as this show right here just by the first episode. And like, just like, you know, the budget, the camera work, the cinematography, everything was top notch. And it does seem like that they did use a movie budget for this show, which it does explain, like, you know, the camera work and everything like that, and just the special effects that are in this show. But what can we expect for the next 5 episodes for this show? Personally, I think that we're going to see more of Okafor, we're going to see Jadis, and also we're going to see more of Major General Beale, and also more of an insight of what the CRM is. And of course, we did get explanations in World Beyond, but I think that in this show we're going to be getting a more of a deep dive in it, because again, Major General Beale is a character in this show, and we're going to see how does he run things, and what is Okafor actually talking about when he says that the CRM needs to change. And of course, his plan was probably to overthrow Major General Beale with a lot of A's and a lot of leaders. So I think that personally it's going to be like more Okafor, we're going to see more Jadis, and because, like, again, this show is going to be showing more of the past as well, when Rick actually first came to the CRM, and hopefully we do get a scene when he actually first arrived at the CRM from the helicopter. And so that's why I'm saying that we're going to see more of Okafor, because we're going to, of course, see how did he save Rick, how did he save Rick's life multiple times. We did see Rick's third attempt to escape, which was the finale of season 11, and also we saw his fourth attempt to escape where he did cut off his own hand, but we did not see the first 2 attempts to escape, and I think we'll be seeing those, and how does Rick and Okafor's like friendship actually grow. But that's it for today's video. I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And like, you know, this recording, like this video took me about 2 to 3 days to make. And that's because, like, again, I didn't have much time to record. So that's why I'm very late at this review. And whereas in the start of the video, I did thank you all for 3,000 subscribers. Now I want to thank you all for 3,107 subscribers at the time of this recording. I really, really appreciate, like, you know, the support you all have been giving me, and just this growth is all because of you guys, and I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.